Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome back again. Architecture around us isn't messy. It's just that it's done on some mobile apps by people who are not even architects. This is Architect Shahriar.
I'm glad that Google has blocked Play Store in Pakistan. This is Architect Mahi.
And you are watching yet another episode of Let's Talk
Architecture.
सो हमारी पिछली वीडियोस में हम लोगों को काफ़ी अच्छी इंसाइट्स मिली थी अबाउट द रियल एस्टेट वर्क्स और वहाँ पे चीज़ें किस तरह से होती हैं फ्रॉम अ रियल्टर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू एंड ऑल्सो फ्रॉम एन आर्किटेक्ट्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू जो कि रियल एस्टेट में काम भी कर रहे हैं. अगर आप लोगों ने वो वीडियोस नहीं देखी तो फिर ज़रूर देखें. सो इन टुडेज एपिसोड वी हैव समवन हु सॉ अस, हु फॉलोड अस एंड गेव अस दिस वंडरफुल अपॉर्चुनिटी टू हैव हर ऑन आवर शो. फ्रॉम द सिटी ऑफ लाइट्स वी वेलकम आर्किटेक्ट आयशा.
Hi,
हाउ आर यू आयशा? कैसी हैं आप?
I'm good. How are you?
कैसा लग रहा है आपको इस्लामाबाद आके?
इस्लामाबाद आके थोड़ा सुकून मिल रहा है. It's
सुकून?
relatively chill.
Are you enjoying the दिन की गर्मी and रात की सर्दी in Islamabad or you just want to
थोड़ा
run back
दिन
to
में भी
Karachi?
सर्दी लग रही है मुझे. But yeah, there's such less people here. That was the first thing I noticed.
Less people?
Yeah, less people,
Less
open
traffic.
spaces. Yeah, less traffic. Yes, less cars. Everything is just appropriate amount in the size of the city.
Alright, so thank you first of all for coming to our show and I think we should just start with the questions already, right? So we would like to know about you कि आपने कहाँ से graduate किया, उसके बाद अभी आप कहाँ practice कर रही हैं and all that.
Okay, so I graduated in 2019 from Indus Valley. And then I worked with Colas Design Studio for a little bit more than 1.5 years, a little bit more than 1.5 years. And now I'm recently working with ASA.
Okay, Aisha, since you're the first one from Karachi, my discussion sessions में थोड़ी सी insight देते हो architecture practice कराची में किस तरह की?
Yeah, I can talk about Karachi's architecture also and how it's different from Islamabad. So I think that it's a little bit of everything all over the place, much like Karachi is, a little bit of everything all over the place. People from all cities are here, so the architecture also doesn't, I'll say, have a particular identity that you could say. Materials may, I suppose, like, Gizri stone is used and that I appreciate. But yeah, in terms of the architecture or the identity, it's a little bit chaotic and all over the place. And Baki, Karachi and architecture practice in Karachi, I think that a lot of new firms are developing, people are starting their smaller businesses, there's a lot of freelance, there's a lot of work in comparison to over here.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's really old firms also, there are newer firms that have a lot of work that are, again, a little bit overwhelmed. Yeah, it's a little bit of all of it. Yeah.
So मेरा आपसे next question ये है कि आपको पता जिस तरह आजकल लाहौर, इस्लामाबाद जितनी भी major cities हैं, market is quite competitive and saturated. I think that would be the right term to use. Do you think it's the same in Karachi for young architects like you, me, कि किस तरह like उनके लिए easy होता है जब वो graduate कर जाते हैं एक job अच्छी job secure करना या it's pretty tough for them?
I think that relatively in comparison it is easier in Karachi. There's more job opportunity because I feel like the philosophy of that city is just to hustle, to work and to get work done, and if you miss an opportunity then you miss an opportunity, it's not going to come back. You'll get more new ones, but it's a lot of hustle grind. So it is relatively it's easier in Karachi to get a job, but in terms of just to find a job in Karachi, that's also a little bit difficult. You have to see, there's also a lot of options. I think that would you want to do work on your own? Would you want to go for a younger firm, for a newer firm, or like an old school way where you just junior architect and climb your way on the top? It's something like that.
So हम इसलिए ये पूछना चाह रहे थे because अब इस्लामाबाद है ना, so आपके पास opportunity कम है, लोग बहुत ज़्यादा graduate होते हैं, so जो अच्छी positions होती हैं, position ज़्यादा होती नहीं है, जो अच्छी होती हैं वो जल्दी fill हो जाती हैं, तो mostly लोग होते हैं जिनको jobs नहीं मिल रही होती, तो कराची में you have more options for people obviously because the market is huge there.
Yeah, they do. There is much more options in Karachi. You could also, I think, even like some of my friends in IVS, they started working in their 3rd or 4th year already, and after they graduated they made their own firm. So I think from my batch, or not my batch, a batch above or below, 2-3 firms to hain that they just decided to start practicing on their own with one licensed architect or something. So yeah, I think there is more job opportunity there for sure, but then that comes at a cost. The living situation of Karachi is just like, you
have to compromise one way or another.
You have to compromise one way or another to just be in that situation.
एक होता है securing a job, ठीक है, वो किसी हद तक यहाँ पे भी है, jobs मिल जाती हैं. एक होता है securing a good job with a good architect, a good firm and a good salary. वो चीज़ है वहाँ पे बेहतर है as compared to other cities पाकिस्तान या नहीं?
Good salary. That I think will not be found in Pakistan for architecture. But again, comparatively in relation to the city, Islamabad or Lahore, I think yes, you do get paid maybe 5,000 rupees more or maybe 10,000 rupees more, depending on what you think a good salary is. And then a good job, yeah, sure. I think you can find a good job. Thoda sa effort karna padta hai. Depends on your schooling or education as well. Sometimes, if you're lucky, it also actually depends on your experience. They will look at your work and how you are, how you speak. And it is a little bit of struggle. Interviews, you have to look the part. And but you can find a good place. You find a good place in the firm for yourself. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so आयशा, हमें यहाँ बहुत सुनने को मिलता है कि कराची में सेंसिबल आर्किटेक्चर प्रैक्टिस होता है. So I would want you to put some light on that.
What?
नहीं, actually we do hear that because
क्यों सुन रहे हैं? कौन बता रहा है? Sensible architecture.
Because हम जब भी बात करते हैं ना, हमेशा हमें कराची एग्जांपल दी जाती है कि वहाँ तो बहुत एक्सेप्शनल आर्किटेक्चर प्रैक्टिस हो रहा है.
I think, sorry to cut you. I think the difference, what I think is the problem or why people are saying this is because वहाँ architecture practice ज़्यादा हो रहा है. Yeah, and sometimes I also wonder if whatever we are practicing is actually architecture or not. Because when I find myself in firms doing 9-to-5 jobs, there isn't a lot of room for creativity, right? And sensitivity comes from actually understanding what the problem is. Right? So maybe not in terms of like bulk में बहुत ज़्यादा जो architecture practice हो रहा है वो sensible है, but yeah, you do find some sort of like little projects you see that do surprise you, where you're like, oh, they actually did not use concrete, for the love of God, they actually explored some other material, or even with the colors, they're like, okay, they're thinking about how hot it is in Karachi. So maybe, like some efforts are being made, but wo bhi like, either if it's a very expensive project, ke budget itna hai ki, you can experiment and maybe if you mess up, cover ho jayega. Ya phir it's something that you are not getting paid for. That the architects themselves are like, yaar, ye charity project kar lete hain, ya ye aisa kar lete hain. So that we can actually practice what we learned. Because that's very less to actually be creative and explore. Because you have to make money.
Any recent project जो आपको लगा हो कि sensible है?
I remember this one beach hut that Studio Sarah did. And see, the thing is with that also, the reason why I remember it is because it was photographed really well also. Okay. Right? So again, coming to the importance of social media and presentation skills that we also learn in architecture school, how relevant it is to tell your story in the way that it was. But what they did was they kind of blocked the facade or did like some monolithic walls. And as you enter inside the hut and you maneuver and you go, then the beach opens up to you and it's like, open from that side. So that was interesting, very simply done. Even the material I think they used, I'm not sure what material they used, but it looked like something organic. Agar plaster hai to sensitively kiya hoga. So like that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Okay.
So you have been to different countries. You are well traveled, right? आपने वहाँ का भी architecture देखा, आपने यहाँ का भी अब देख ही लिया है. So as someone who has lots of exposure, ठीक है, what is that one thing that you would like to add or recommend to the architectural practices in Pakistan?
There's a lot of things that I would like to recommend.
Sure.
So I went to this conference. It's called the Architecture conference with IVS, and I think a lot of things were noticed over there. Like, you know, I was like, ye bhi kar sakte hain, ye bhi kar sakte hain. But there was the very fundamental thing was systems, like transit systems, the way that people just understand how to behave in public spaces, the importance of public spaces, and, you know, just a general common sense and knowledge.
Civic sense, basically.
Yeah, basically civic sense, and some sort of ethical responsibility also, that we all are living in the same community. We're a part of this ecosystem, so we have to take care of each other. And people are like, okay, what does that have to do with architecture? It has a lot to do with architecture, because, you know, space and psychology, and either you design a city for humans or you design a city for cars. It's like that, right? So yeah. So I think apart from that, design wise, like as an architect or a designer, what I noticed when I went to Japan was the fact that the way that they incorporate their spirituality or the religious side into their buildings, like there's always an element of nature or some sort of like humility in their design also, even, you know, like Zen architecture jo hum padhte hain. So like doors that are smaller in height, floor textures, materials.
So it's
thoughtful, sensitive, all of that. And what that does to the individual when they experience it is that you kind of feel more connected. You're like, okay, maybe there was a reason why I became an architect.
Yeah.
Because it can actually, you know, influence me or impact me or change my life for the better. Like it's evident. So yeah.
So basically context को ज़हन में रख के आर्किटेक्चर प्रैक्टिस हो रहा है वहाँ पे. यहाँ पे हम लोग फोकस करते हैं मटेरियल पे, बिल्डिंग पे.
मटेरियल पे सॉरी
चलो मटेरियल पे नहीं कोशिश कर लेते हैं. हाँ, बट इट्स मोर लाइक जस्ट दैट बिल्डिंग. उसके इर्द क्या हो रहा है, चीज़ें किस तरह से फ्यूचर में इवॉल्व करेंगी, रिएक्ट करेंगी टू दैट एनवायरनमेंट, उसके बारे में यहाँ पे फोकस नहीं होता मेरे ख्याल में.
आयशा, you mentioned कि people abroad know how to behave, right? Civic sense है. As an architect, हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत सी चीज़ें इसलिए वर्क नहीं करती हैं बिकॉज सिविक सेंस मिसिंग है. आहिस्ता आहिस्ता ख़त्म ही होती जा रही है. आपको क्या लगता है ऐसा क्या करना चाहिए एक जनरलाइज सिविक सेंस क्रिएट करने में? कैन वी डू समथिंग अबाउट इट, या हम कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते इस बारे में?
Definitely we can do something about it. I think as a Karachiite, I think what we lack is patience.
Okay.
Right? Like, for example, if we will introduce a new kind of typology. By new, I mean, I don't know. There's this children's museum that was recently done. I think Tariq Hassan did it. Yeah. And it's really cool. I was really surprised to go there. But when I went there, most of the parts of the, you know, just if we exercise a building blocks key, like the blocks are just missing. And, you know, people just picked them up and took them, right? So I think just accepting the fact that this is going to happen. You can't really change people like in a day, and you have to be patient. But that doesn't mean that you stop making buildings like these that are important. And it's I think it's very well done for a building that's in Karachi. Yeah, it's very well done. I really like it. I went there recently. So I think, definitely we can do something about it. We can also think about the people, the majority of the people, which is like 60% of Karachi is like slums. So just think about that and maybe design in terms of that. So then why wouldn't it be successful? That's, you know.
Okay. Asha, मैंने शहरियार से सुना that you are an advocate of mental health awareness. With the current Pakistan की situation, inflation rate जा रहा है, economy is going down. आर्किटेक्चर स्टूडेंट्स जो हैं वो स्ट्रेस से कैसे डील कर सकते हैं, स्टेबिलिटी कैसे ला सकते हैं
in terms of their financial for future, right? I think that I am also struggling with it equally. I know that they must be freaking out because they still have some sort of, you know, command over, you know, maybe I can change my profession or my degree. But I think there's not really much you can do. what you can actually do is whatever is in your control. So for example, if this thing doesn't actually bring you peace and you don't want to do architecture or design buildings in a very corporate kind of office job related way, then you don't do it, right? And there are so many newer ways to make money, and there's such different ways to practice architecture as well. Like again, like this initiative is not really heard of in the architecture practice, at least in Pakistan, I think. Yeah, right? So this is also something that you could do, right? And I think that this is something that would appeal to the younger audience much more. So yeah, be more creative, newer ways. There's design competitions. वो भी कर सकते हैं. I kind of think that design competitions are like, they take your money, you're doing free labor, and then at the end of the day, if you don't win, you don't get anything back. Some like you might get recognition or add to your portfolio, but it's zyada nahi. So in terms of financially, I think that you have to be clever and smart with the world. Yeah, not get stuck in 9-to-5 jobs if that's not what you want to do, because that's a horrible place to be then. Yeah.
You are it. So am I. So before moving on to the last question, ठीक है, उससे पहले हम एक session basically हम करेंगे, which is called Pick It Quick. So I'm gonna give you 2 options and you have to pick one, but quickly. Right, so let's start.
Okay.
Do you prefer commercial projects, residential projects?
Commercial.
Right. A first year student asks you about architecture. Will you say do it or leave it?
Leave it. I'm sorry, it's the truth.
For rendering, you love Lumion, V-Ray.
Lumion.
Right. As an architect, you want to expand Karachi or fix the old one?
Expand Karachi.
I want a detailed discussion on this.
We can have our private one.
Yeah, okay.
Are you a minimalist or a maximalist?
Minimalist.
Right. Pick one. Karachi, Islamabad.
Islamabad.
I was like, obviously Karachi because she's from there. No.
Listen,
Have you been?
Have you been
visiting Islamabad?
Have you lived there?
No, just a few days. Yeah, been there.
Try living. Try living there. It's not for humans anymore. Maybe at some point it was.
Okay.
Up to nahi.
And she told me this is the first time she's coming to Islamabad.
तो फिर तो बनता है कहना मुझे यही रहना है.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna ask you for your thoughts about Archistan for this initiative.
I think that this is absolutely amazing. It's really, really great, because what do you do as a younger person if they want to pursue architecture? You're gonna look for podcasts, or you're gonna look for some YouTube situation, which I don't think many of our star architects have.
Yeah.
So again, that is something that should change. And I think for younger people, it's really important, even for older people, because you have to catch up to the world.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you guys are doing this, and this is great. I will suggest that maybe you can do like long form interviews also for future. Yeah. I'm sure you must be thinking that. And you guys also have a platform, right, where you can upload your own work. Yeah. That's also amazing, because that means that you are not just doing these, you're doing like a database, and it has a much more grounded approach. Yeah, lovely.
Thank you so much, Ayesha.
Thank you for having me.
आपने कहाँ upload किया?
नहीं.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ayesha, for taking out time from your busy schedule. Okay, for letting us have you on our show and lighting us on information about Karachi. Alright, so if you haven't yet, then please register with us on www.archistan.com. It's free and it's very quick, and you must do that now.
Yeah, and don't forget to follow us on our socials.
So if you want to be a part of our discussion session, please write to us at info@archistan.com. Alright then, see you inshallah next week with another topic and another guest. Till then, Hafiz.